So welcome everybody to another episode of the Brewmasters Club cast. Here is what you have to look forward to in tonight's episode.
Replicatable?
Yeah,
replicatable.
Replicatable?
I say replicatable all the time. Is it not a thing? Oh, geez.
Babe, is it replicatable or replicatable? Replicable? Replicable.
I say avocado.
No, it's replicable. Ashley's right. It's replicable.
Yeah, you're wrong.
She's right. It's definitely right. Replicable.
Oh. How many meetings have you been in where you said
so many meetings? So many meetings.
Replicable.
Jeez. And from now on, I'm still going to say it just for the record. I'll be like, oh, that's replicatable. And I'll go, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, don't stop yourself. Just keep going with it. Everybody is going to be like, maybe that is how you say it.
Just own it. Yeah.
Keep the dream alive.
Hey, Donnie.
Hi, honey. By the city of Tampa and the mayor, Bobby B.
Yeah, he also didn't go to mayor school for 7 years to be called Bobby B. So.
That's true.
He may or not have.
Jeez, that was. I really set myself up for that one, didn't I? Jesus. Craft Brews and Geek News on Facebook. So
it should be like a giant beer keg that people drive around like a go-kart, and they're like, "Get in!" Like, I'll take you to the next place.
You could find a dishwasher that would talk to your washing machine and tell your fridge when to order stuff depending on when you were doing your laundry. Crazy, right?
I only have one of those. I've got like 8 Game Boys on me.
Yeah. No, I got one has one right there. That's amazing.
Well, it's a Game Boy Color. I mean, it's
Whoa,
not...
hey, settle down there, guy.
How many hours have we sunk into Mario Tennis?
I'd say 40 love.
That was good.
You can do it in a group. You can do it with, 2 guys. Okay, should probably work on my phrasing on that one. You can. Please help me get that game.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Craft Brews and Geek News. Donnie Gallagher. No?
Do it more Wheel of Fortune style.
And now, here's your host, Donnie Gallagher.
There it is.
I don't like that either. All right, I'm just going to break it down. We're going to start from ground zero. All right?
Crazy mother.
Welcome to the official podcast of the Brewmasters Club, Craft Brews and Geek News. Sit back, pour yourself a pint, and let's get into it. Now here's the founder of the Brewmasters Club and your host, Donnie Gallagher.
Good evening, craft beer. My name is Donnie, and I am joined this evening for a very special episode of Brewmasters Club presents Craft Brews and Geek News. Again, my name is Donnie. Ryan is also here acting like a child. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great.
That's good. Good. I'm glad. Also, who's not acting like a child, Mr. Lossman, how are you, sir?
Well, hiya. I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. And, of course, we have Mr. Dano. Dane, how are you doing, sir?
Hey, Donnie.
Hi, honey.
Hey,
All
Ryan.
right.
Hey, Laos. What's going on?
All right. We are the official podcast of the Brewmasters Club. Again, we're called Craft Brews and Geek News. We talk about natural stories, local flavors, and our favorite geeky nuggets of pop culture. Good evening, everyone. We always start off with our favorite segment, one of our favorite segments, our famous favorite segments. What are you drinking? What are you going to drink? Boys, who wants to start us off tonight? I've got something really fun. I talked about it last week. I can talk about it again. But Ryan, did you bring anything special, Mr. Lausman?
I don't know how special it is. I just saw it for the first time like 2 hours ago, and it looked cool. I have Sierra Nevada's Hazy Little Thing IPA. It's Sierra Nevada, of course, our unofficial official sponsor. I just wanted to. I love everything that they've got going on, so I gave this one a shot, and it's just a normal IPA, not so much like a double or anything crazy like that. But I think it was at a 6.7% ABV, which we know I'm kind of after that sometimes. So it's really good. It kind of tastes like a torpedo, where they just didn't do so much of the bitter. Like they just kind of just went, make this one a little bit more subtle. So it tastes, it's very drinkable though. Like it's something I could probably drink with food real easy. Yeah, that's good. I like it.
All right.
Ryan, what'd you bring, man?
So I am also on the Sierra Nevada tip tonight. Yesterday, scrolling through my feeds, I saw a photo of their new seasonal, the Hop Bullet. It's their double IPA. Last man, you would actually really enjoy this. I love the haze, by the way. It's more clear, more crisp and smooth. And this one's a little interesting. I don't know the whole process. Maybe we could reach out to a couple brewers or maybe even to Christian Roberts and see what he says. But they actually take, it says they hit it with a double-barreled blast of Magnum hops and lupulum dust, which is pure concentrated hop flavor, during in fermentation. So, that sounds very interesting. I don't know quite the process, but it's actually really delicious if you can get your hands on it. It's only out, like I said, it's a seasonal beer. Went to ABC Liquor last night, drove around actually, because long story there, but they saved me 2 6-packs, so I have that sitting in my kegerator tonight. And but it's just really, really good beer. So definitely get your hands on it. Again, from our unofficial sponsor, Sierra Nevada,
Which we hope to convert to an official sponsor one day.
One day, we'll see. We keep plugging them, we might get lucky.
That's true. Eventually, it'll equate to something. Mr. Dane, you got anything for us this evening?
I did finish a 6-pack of Two Hearted Ale Bells, probably top 3 beers right now for me, and try to get some more of that here soon.
Again, I think it was on several of our top 5 of 2017. I think we counted that down months ago, and we were like, yeah, that's definitely the best beer out there. Yeah,
no doubt.
Excellent. So last week I talked about, let's see, I think it was the Florida Weiss that came out from Coppertail. I've been on a big Coppertail kick. I really, really like Coppertail a lot. The one I talked about last week but didn't get was the Sorcha O'Sullivan, which is part of their, they have this crazy like IPA series that's coming out. It's called the Alpha Hunt series. And I mean, all I could find from I had to Google it because all I could find from the bottle was that it literally says Coppertail Brewing Alpha Hunt IPA series. So this features Medusa and Idaho 7 hops, which sounds again very domestic, very very earthy here to at least the US of A. But there's several beers that are in this, and I think part again from the research that I've gathered is that essentially there's 3 releases that they are making with these different Hunt series. So this is the first of that, and basically it was available only from late October, November, December of last year. So the this is basically the remains of what the bottle, what's left over. But I really like it. It is an IPA. It's very hoppy. It's very earthy. It's very fruity. Which, if you read anything about it, that's what they all say. That the general consensus is big citrus and tropical fruit notes, which is precisely what this beer tastes like. So. It's like 6.25 alcohol, but compared to say like a High Life or something, citrus, just big citrus, very tropical flavor. So I like it. I really dig it right now, especially because it's 30 degrees here, and then it's 60 degrees, then it's 80 degrees, and it's 40 degrees again. So this just retains the citrus and the tropics, which I like.
So I just did a quick search because I've actually never heard of Medusa hops, and as you said, the characteristics are citrus fruit, apricot, melon, and guava. So, and it also quotes very intense. You guys can find that on the internet. But yeah, that sounds delicious, Donnie. I have to try that.
On the internet, you say? I've got to try that. That's an interesting place to look for things.
The intranet.
No, that's good, man. Yeah. I've never had an IPA that tastes exactly like this, but man. Damn if I'm not impressed by everything Coppertail puts out. I was impressed last episode, and I'm impressed this one. So good stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. So, all right. So thanks guys. That's good info. We're going to go ahead and get into it. Essentially, before we start any other stories, pump the brakes because we are approaching 30 days out from Florida Craft Beer Day. Mr. Rye Guy, Mr. Lausman. Dane, unfortunately, you won't be there with us, but you'll be there in spirit. Man, what a good time. This is shaping to be a one-of-a-kind, unique event. We've never done anything like this before. 3 years running, 3 years recognized by the city of Tampa and the mayor, Mayor Bob Buckhorn, who has already signed off on the proclamation and given us the good graces to it, at least call upon February 15th, 2018 as the third annual Florida Craft Beer Day. Pat yourselves in the back, boys and girls, because this is a big deal. It really is. And it's a big deal for a lot of other people besides us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he also didn't go to mayor school for 7 years to be called Bobby B. So.
That's true. I don't think he went to mayor's school at all.
He may or not have.
Oh, jeez, that was I really set myself up for that one, didn't I?
Yeah, scraping the bottom of the barrel now.
That's okay.
I liked that one. I really did.
I was looking for one more.
I was going to say,
basically,
you could be a stand-up comedian one day. That was all I was going to.
It's may or may not have.
Oh, yes. Well done.
May or may not have. Is that going to be your mayor name when you graduate mayor school, Wells?
Actually, no. I would change my name to Nate so I can be Mayor Nate.
Besides that,
just found 5 ways to plug the word mayor into a word. That's awesome.
Oh, we've got more, I'm sure, right, guy? I'm sure we have a lot.
Yeah, I can keep going.
Yeah,
this is not difficult.
Nope, no, but it is hard to listen to. We are celebrating Florida Craft Beer Day for a few reasons. Essentially, Florida jobs. We're at this point, 2018, believe it or not, guys. If we're listening back in the day when we first started this thing, we're talking like 35,000 Florida jobs, if not 50,000. I've got to really pull these numbers again, but over almost $1 billion in wages and salaries for the state. We're talking like 700 million in federal state taxes paid. So if you think craft beer doesn't do anything for the state, doesn't do anything for anybody except get people drunk, you're wrong. And if nothing else, I hope you've learned that just from listening to this podcast and listening to the things that we celebrate and why this is such a big day. So this is the first time in 3 years that this event is actually public. So I suggest that you Google simply or just type in FloridaCraftBeerDay.com to your Chrome, whatever it is that you use, or find us on Facebook. Our Facebook group, as Ryan has plugged and is doing a great job of maintaining and keeping our head above water, Craft Brews and Geek News on Facebook. Find it out there, or go to the Brewmasters Club on Facebook, and you'll also find the event there. So simply just check it out, share it with your friends. This is going to be a very limited seating, limited space, and I promise you that I not just send a note to the owner today, Ryan. They will sell out. They will fill up. There will not be enough room for everybody that wants to join. I think we have just under 1,000 views right now, and the website or the event page has been up for about 48 hours, if not less. So
that's incredible.
Yeah. So the place can maybe fit what? Not 100 people. He said 100 people. I don't know if that can work. Go ahead.
We'll have to open up a second balcony for the other 1,000 people, but yeah, I mean, I think that just the 2,000 of us will fit.
We might want to consider opening a first balcony because that sounds dangerous.
You'll have that with balconies. I don't know what you.
Oh, did you say where the good people can find us on that day?
Yeah. Again, everybody just follow along. FloridaCraftBeerDay.com or Craft Brews and Geek News on Facebook. We will be Facebooking live from that group and from Brewmasters Club on Facebook. So please just check it out. Again, FloridaCraftBeerDay.com. We'll post a live link to YouTube or whatever it is that we can stream from there at that time. So we hope to see you guys there. And everybody can join at home too. Simply just raise a glass at 7 o'clock and cheers to Florida Craft Beer, because that's all we're going to be doing. We just happen to be doing it with a couple of special friends of ours, a couple of brewers, Chris from 610, Tim from Craft Life Brewing. We're going to have Christian Roberts from Paradise. We're going to have Christian, the owner of Brew, there talking. We have a lot of friends and some special guests and some surprises that may show up too, awesome. As well as some different attributes and different things to enjoy with the show. So we hope to see you guys there. And if not, simply reach out to us on Twitter, Facebook, whatever you can. And please let us know for how you want to be involved. We're happy to have friends, especially friends that are friends of the Craft Brews and Geek News podcast. All right, moving on, boys. So we have to. We're gonna try and move. We're gonna try and move real quickly here. Essentially, we had an old story that I'll kind of put back on the hopper here, just in case We want to use it just in the sake of time. One thing that did come out literally yesterday, I think I texted all you guys, and of course we put it up in the group, but it's essentially the car service Lyft. So if you're familiar with Lyft or Uber, they have actually decided to launch their own craft beer. It's very cool. It's a neat idea. They partner with Bader Brewing in Chicago to make 5-star lager, which is available this week starting in Chicago bars. Each can comes with a discount code to Lyft for a $5 off your ride, which is pretty cool. So it's a Hell's Lager, and basically it's a rebrand of the brewing company's Southside Pride. But Lyft hopes to encourage responsible driving by selling the beer and then offering a discount code. Totally like it. I really think that's a neat idea. It is a microbrewery that they're supporting, and Lyft is a huge worldwide presence. So I think that might be very interesting to see where it goes out for, or what happens to this brand and this beer as this thing progresses. But it's a discount code, I believe, for 40 to 60 cents off a ride up to $5, and it expires within 1 week. So pretty exciting. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I read that article and I was like, all right, wait, responsible driving and it's beer. Love it. Absolutely love it.
I love the idea. It's awesome. And I personally, absolutely love Lyft. I love all the driving services and things like that, because they're the coolest way to do all that jazz these days. Have an issue with the type of beer that they chose. I personally would have gone, and you're going to probably notice this real quickly, I would have gone with maybe a Dunkel, and then they could have called it the Drunkle. And I think that would have been pretty cool. They could have done some sort of, maybe like a designated driver style beer. But, more props to them for coming up with something. But maybe they could have gotten a little bit more punny with it. I don't know. But that'd be neat.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. They could have changed the name to anything. I don't know why they chose that beer or what that was behind it. But I think it's just a cool initiative. I really like it. I wonder why Uber hasn't came up with something like this, unless Lyft is literally losing share and trying to gain it any way they can.
They should have just called it 5-star Lifter, to be honest with you, because
yeah, I agree.
That would have made a lot more sense. But to that tune, Lost Man, a lot of people that are out getting hammered, whether it's liquor or anything like that, they're, especially if they're not craft beer fans, they're probably used to their normal Bud Lights and things of that nature. So, maybe start with the lager, then work your way up to something different. But that was just
mass
my
appeal.
Yeah,
mass appeal.
Mass
Ryan,
appeal indeed.
How about you tell that to Brewer? All right.
Is Brewer a thing?
I don't know if that's
It
a
is
thing.
now.
It is now. Brewer is a thing now.
Oh no!
Better lock that
things.
away real fast.
delete.
Brewer.com is an authentic Italian restaurant founded in 1960. They have an Italian or a English version of their website. I stand corrected. It's not an Italian restaurant. I was making an assumption. It's an artwork. It's a very crappily made website that features artists named the Master Brewer in art. So,
That's
Whoops.
ridiculous. I like my thing better because
Yeah.
it should be like a giant beer keg that people drive around like a go-kart, and they're like, "Get in!" Like, I'll take you to the next place. I mean, okay, I might be.
I gotta be honest though.
Mario Kart on the brain.
When I first heard the story, my first thought was, wait, they're gonna put beer inside of each lift? How is that possible?
Yep, I
But
thought so
obviously,
too.
that's not the case here. So
Yeah, well, I mean, why not? Hey, Johnny, you're being responsible. Here's a free beer. What? Huh? This is great.
sounds good to me. I'd take a lift any day. Lift from
Yeah, the
home
problem.
to work.
The problem is,
Lift
when
back.
you feed booze to those people that are already calling those ride share services, knowing that they're not driving, they tend to be a little more.
Oh yeah.
Because they're not driving and they know it already. So
And we've all met plenty of those drivers that are pissed off at all the drunk people they've taken home, but they still do it as a great service.
yeah, nearly every single Uber driver is like, well, at least nobody puked in my car tonight. And that's
Or
All right.
movie theater.
Yeah, they chose that life.
Yeah, this is a quick question. You guys ever have a like a windows down, like smoking in their own car type of Uber, where they're just like, meh? You ever have one of those?
I don't
'Cause,
think
like,
I've ever,
I
mean,
got
they're
one.
usually pretty good.
727-777777. Yellow cab, maybe, but
No,
Yeah.
no. I got an
Be a
Uber.
cab
One time.
driver.
I got an Uber one time. The guy looked at me and he like lit up a cigarette. He's like, "You need a ride?" I'm like, "Whoa, You're pretty cool. I guess I do need a ride from you, man. Guy's like, hop on in. I was like, all your windows are down. He's like, yeah, it's a nice night. I'm like, okay, let's go wherever you want to go.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of tolerance for that kind of stuff. We had a shitty one recently, but whatever. Anyways, moving on past crappy Ubers, we can talk about that all night long. So any thoughts before we move on past this? This will be the end of our beer segment because of the essence of time. We're trying to move things along here.
Absolutely.
All right. So moving on, and man, do we have a lot to move on to in a short amount of time. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention or paid attention to CES, which essentially is over now. And it was last week, so not this one, but what is it, you may ask, Ryan? It's the biggest consumer technology show on Earth. So huge deal, and it's January 9th through 12th. It's there's press only, there's all sorts of stuff, but when the masses get there, essentially they showcase things not like video games and consoles and whatnot, but it would be like, you know, Google Home or Google Glass or other Google products, or the way that your
VR, Google, and Amazon, pretty much.
Well, 4K is debuted there, 8K this year. I mean, all this crazy stuff.
8K?
Yeah, we're on 8K now, and I heard in Japan they've got 15K. I could be way wrong.
They don't even have anything broadcasting in 4K. They just went straight
Right.
to 8. Holy shit!
Well, they're jumping faster than, of course, broadcast media can come up with. But of course, that's the disconnect between broadcast and traditional media and nowadays, and how users consume their media. So, anyways, we won't get off topic on that. But here you could find a dishwasher that would talk to your washing machine and tell your fridge when to order stuff depending on when you were doing your laundry. Crazy, right?
I only have one of those.
Well,
What happened to personal responsibility?
Yes. I literally like, I'm not kidding you. This week I rode the Carousel of Progress, and everything that happened in CES just blows that out of the water. And if you're not familiar with Carousel of Progress, Google it. It's at Disney World. Go ahead, Los.
That's weird because that scene with the kitchen from the early 1800s, right around the turn of the century, that is my kitchen. all the drawers and the stove go. It's pretty great.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It happens about every 20 minutes in my house. Well,
Dane, did you have any insights, or did you pick up on this story as going on? Are you kind of excluded from the CES stories that happened, I guess, a week ago?
Yeah, I'm not too wound up in all that tech kind of stuff. I have a friggin' Alexa. She just turned on for you, but she's
They always do.
I
Just say your name. She turns on for you.
I ask her what the weather's like, and that's pretty much it. So I don't have any VR or crazy. I'm still rocking the LED, I think, maybe even LCD, whatever. So it is what it is. You know, who has that kind of cash right now?
Nobody. And everything, if you looked at that, everything was like, it's going to be $400, $400 or $1,200. Like, what who is buying this
Our
stuff?
4K is still pretty pricey. Like, what's going on with that?
Yeah, 4Ks are, but you should see the price on the 8K.
Yeah.
They're
Absolutely
about
insane.
a G.
What happened to the 5K?
No, it's not how it works. It always doubles. It doubles and doubles and doubles. Anyways, so just some quick highlights. Essentially, like you mentioned, Dane, the voice talk. You know, the funny thing is when these things come out, it's like 2 to 4 years above what is actually happening, right? But then CES last year is like 3 to 2, or it's this weird ratio of like a jumping frog over these hurdles, and each one gets weirder and weirder. But now Ryan's talking to us on an Apple laptop. I have 2 4K TVs. You have a headset. That can display audio like this. And Laos, I think, has 2 laptops.
I got the one.
Yeah, but you've got a PS4 and an Xbox One. So go screw yourself, man. That's what I'm saying.
That's
like,
true.
They
don't talk
right there.
Right. Yeah. King of the Castle. We don't think we're there yet, but like each year that goes by, you're surprised at how much this stuff you absorb over a year. So I just want to run through this list really quickly, and then we can take a stab at this or look back next year on the same time and say, oh, look how funny that is. Nobody thought we'd be doing this. So quick couple tidbits, and we'll move right along because we have a video game coverage that we have to get to as well. From CES 2018, Google Assistant and Amazon Alexa basically took the competition, or took the whole expo. What that means is that, you know, everything, as I mentioned, from your dishwasher to your TV to your laundry machine now can all talk to each other, which is terrifying. You can also talk. You can also talk back, right? So you can sit here in your living room and say, like Dane says, "Hey, dishwasher, what's the weather like today?" And for some ungodly reason, it'll tell you. But not
chill out, refrigerator. That would be good.
Oh, that's good. Were you thinking about that from the first
clap?
The first time I said refrigerator, or are you thinking about that recently?
Just now.
Okay, good for you.
I'm getting
Not
quicker,
cool,
like Laos.
Not
All
cool.
right. So that stuff's coming, and basically every device now is being integrated with your audio. So you could have literally a microwave that you just say talk to and it works. So awesome. But they're all integrating with either Google or Alexa. I don't know if that means there's a competitor that's coming in. I highly doubt it, considering the real estate that's involved with these things. But that's cool to see that these voice-enabled things, because for a while, do you remember how it was all video-enabled, like the Connect and things like that? We're going to run your life, and like, whoa, I don't want a camera on me, but I'll let you listen to me all day long. Kind of odd. With that, Asus and Acer are both counting on Alexa. Laos man, question for you: is Cortana dead?
Well, I mean, being an AI, she was technically never alive or dead. Ooh. But that's a weird old Halo bit there. But yeah, no. Is she gone? Yeah, probably. I mean, they might reboot her. Like, they might reboot her when the holograms come out, because that literally is her in all the lore. But until then, she might be dormant, to say the least.
Right. Yeah, no, I totally agree. And the HoloLens or whatever the hell it is that Microsoft's working on, maybe that will be her revival. I don't know. But I thought it was interesting because they're literally, it's like Google or Alexa, and if you're not in, you're out. So very interesting. But Lenovo, which is really taken off, is backed upon the Android operating system in Google. So it will be very interesting to see where Samsung, Lenovo, coupled with Google, Acer, Asus, take Alexa. Let's see kind of who shakes out. Another thing that's happening is a 146-inch display from Samsung, which I think is effing awesome. It can be fit to size any wall and or look exactly like your wall, with a 46-inch TV in the middle, or a 58-inch TV, or a 70-inch TV, whatever you want. The 146-inch screen can literally size to anything you want, and it's called modular. So you can attach additional TVs onto the edges of that TV to make it an even bigger TV. Love it. I can only imagine the price tag on that said TV.
I don't want to imagine that price tag on said TV.
I'm sure it's hard to even think of.
I just realized I don't have 146-inch wall space at all in my apartment.
That's okay. It's modular. It can be smaller. You can buy the big one and make it smaller. Isn't that great?
Can it wash my clothes and dishes?
Or but it can talk to your dishwasher that you don't have, and your clothes machine, which you also don't have.
I got a microwave, but it's not very talkative.
Yours is more like a macrowave level.
Come on, man.
All right. Besides that, there's a slew of VR headsets coming out, some wired, some wireless, some 8K, some 4K, some very high definition. Doesn't really matter. None of that crap is catching on yet, but they are still pushing it like a son of a bitch. So Huawei, I don't know. There's something from China that's coming out with that. The HTC Vive Pro, that's different. That's new, a second model of that. And then Lenovo again with the Mirage Solo is coming out from a big push here again, $400. But there is a huge Google tie there in a full immersion that you can play with Google's AR and VR to really make a cohesive experience. So cool stuff for VR. I still think we're a year or two out from really having that be like, oh, gotta get it. But I do have PlayStation 4 and I got it for part of the VR experience. So, you never know. I was about to say, last piece of news from CES, Game Boy is having a resurgence. They're making a brand new Game Boy from a company called Hyperkin. They essentially are literally taking the Game Boy and making a new one with things like an HD screen or stereo speakers, multiple audio inputs and outputs. And you can use your existing Game Boy games and or buy new ones, which I'm sure will be reproduced, to slide into the back just like your old Game Boy. I don't know why on earth people feel they need the Game Boy. I don't really like the Game Boy as much as I like the other ones, but this thing will have a 6-hour battery life, which doesn't require 16 AA batteries, which is helpful. And it will not have any pre-installed games. So I think it's pretty cool. You guys, that's the last story we got, but you guys keen for a new Game Boy?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I have a 3DS that I play weekly, and I don't see myself going back to the old Game Boy
It's
at all.
It's a weird step. It's a weird step that, like, I don't know. I don't have the nostalgia.
I mean, you guys kind of get that vibe with your NES Classic and all that good stuff. It may touch with some people that are like, got to have the Game Boy, and that's what they grew up on. So maybe that's their niche or whatever, but for me, definitely not.
I'm with you, Dane.
Yeah, definitely not needed. I've got like 8 Game Boys on me.
Yeah, I have a couple too.
Like, weird enough, I didn't even plan this. I've got one
carries them
right.
daily.
No, I
He
got one
literally
right
has
here.
one right there. That's amazing.
I didn't.
Game Boy Neon Green.
It's a Game Boy Color. I mean, it's
Whoa,
not.
hey, settle down there, guy.
What's in the game? What's the cartridges in there right now?
Well, actually, no. There's not even batteries in it. But I mean, yeah, there's. Okay, because what was in there was Zelda, and then I got frustrated with that, so I switched, of course, back to Advance Wars. But we don't need to get into that. The point is that it literally is still flawless from its old day. So if you want to play Game Boy, guess what? They're like $18 anywhere.
You can play Advance War on your old Game Boy Color, and I can go pick it up and play it on my new 3DS, and it's basically the same game.
And it's
Maybe
still
a
wonderful.
little bit better graphics, but nothing.
Okay,
crazy.
now you're just
Maybe
being
just a
mean.
smidge.
Just a smidge, of course.
Get some batteries there, guy.
Okay, well, I need batteries. Yes, this is true. I need batteries for a lot of things, Dane. What am I going to start doing? Changing the channel from the couch? What are you, a madman?
Also, Laos and Dane, both of you guys, just so you know, there's a game called Tiny Metal. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I think I have.
Tiny Metal is essentially Advance Wars, but it's been recreated for 2017, 18, I guess now. But it's on Steam, and it is exactly Advance Wars, but it's literally on Steam that you can play multiplayer and have a great time with it. It's fantastic. I've heard.
It's not as good as Advance Wars, if you ask me, but yes, it is. I will give it a lot of props. It's actually pretty good.
It's an exact copy, so don't give it props. It's an exact copy of Advance Wars, but that's fine.
Not giving it. Nope. I'm gonna give it some props.
That's fine. All right.
Yep.
Anything else, boys? We have a very small amount of time now to get through some of these games.
I still have all my Pokemon cartridges. Just throwing that out there.
I play My Blue often.
Yeah?
Like I played that. That's the last game I played on Game Boy.
Excellent.
I'm playing the brand new one, so that's the game I'm playing.
Sun or Moon, or which one is the new one?
I'm playing Ultra Sun.
See, I'm waiting for them to come to Switch, and then I'm all over it. But
Yeah, well,
That's
that's
coming.
the next step.
That's coming.
Yep.
it's coming. All right. Speaking of games,
I'm actually trying to avoid the Ultra Sun because the ginger thing.
jeez. Speaking of games that are upcoming, I wanted to just include a few minutes here dialogue, and now that we've got Dano, just to talk about some 2018 games and beyond or current that are coming out here. I have a couple favorites that I can go through. I have just a couple quick hits, but Dane, I don't know if you've had even a chance to really think about games for 2018. 2017, if you guys think about it, we had the Switch, we had Mario Odyssey, we had Legend of Zelda, we had Doom, we had the remakes of Skyrim, and we had a ton of games come out. Wolfenstein, we had a bunch of games come out. This year, I'm looking at this lineup and I'm like what the hell? What am I most excited about? Because this year, last time this year, I was like seething for a Switch. We had a whole discussion and many episodes about it. So what are we looking forward to, guys, in 2018?
Praying that Kingdom Hearts drops this year. Kingdom Hearts 3, that is.
Yeah, because I heard that might even get delayed.
Yeah, I mean, they've been delaying it for 10 years.
right.
So that's what I hope that comes out, because it'll be for the PS4. So I'll pick it up for that.
Have you played any of those?
Any of the Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've not played a single one.
So 1 and 2 I enjoyed, and then since 2 they've had like little mini series ones, if you will, for like the PS Vita and just random crap. But
mini
series. not Minnie Mouse. Okay?
Is that a joke for Disney?
So that's what I'm most excited for. hoping, fingers crossed. God of War, which drops very soon. The new Spider-Man for PS4s looks really good. Anthem, which kind of looks like Destiny. That looks really good.
So I think, wait, hold on, because I put a little blur about Anthem in the list here because I was really looking forward to that too as well. PS4, Xbox One, and PC, fall of 2018. Do you think, given the longevity and the success of like Destiny and Halo, of course, before that, this is basically where you step into a mech and then you operate in the same environment that you would as Destiny or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Do you think we're gonna get the same level of engagement, or do you think that I personally, the reason I bring this up is because I feel like all of the components that are bringing this game Anthem, and if Ryan or Laos, you haven't seen it, just Google it. There's millions of trailers out there, I think, for it. It looks too good to be true, in my opinion. I feel like the Destiny 2 is too close to the heels of this Anthem game that they're saying Anthem's going to be it, and you're going to be singing the anthem by the end of this, and then it's going to come out and just fell right on its face.
Yeah,
my thought.
Depends on how big the world is. I know Destiny 2 was like people were chomping at the bit to play that because it was going to be a little bit more open world, a little bit bigger or whatever, and it kind of fell on its face in a sense. Anthem, it looks good. If you think of Titanfall, where you're getting like a little mech, but it's more like Iron Man suit, I guess. And if you could fly around like the whole world in your suit, then awesome. I am reserved on it a little bit. I'll probably wait when it comes out, view what people are saying about it, playing it, all that good stuff before I make a decision. So that's kind of my take on it. It looks good though.
Well, and you brought up, and Laos, I'll let you go. I'm sorry, I know you have something to say, but I know you brought up Titanfall 2, because Titanfall 2, I've heard, and I've not played Titanfall 1 or 2, but I've heard that it's got some of the best multiplayer as to date. Like it is one of the best first-person shooters that are out there currently. So Titanfall 2 comparison is great. They're talking about Mass Effect and KOTOR, which is the Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
You might like it because Mass Effect, it's going to have that vibe to it. So Mass Effect, Destiny rolling into one, then game on. But we'll see.
All right. Laos, do you have anything on that?
No, I mean I've not really had too much hands-on experience with either Destiny 2 or any of those other ones, but I'm hoping that would be great. I mean, I love the idea of open worlds. I mean, if I can sort of segue into something that I'm kind of excited about.
Give us your top 3 or 4. And I'm sorry, Dane, if I cut you off. If you got any other pressing ones, jump in.
I'll say them later. I got a whole list for you.
All right, let's do it, Lost Man. What are you looking forward to?
I don't even have, I've got about 2 that I'm actually looking forward to. And really just one of them's kind of off the cuff. Dynasty Warrior, I think it's 9.
9.
It's actually open world. Thank you, Dane. It's actually open world. So you get to do all the cool beat 'em up, smash 'em up stuff that you used to do in Dynasty Warrior, like in 2004, maybe. It's like that, but against like people and stuff, or like, in an open world. So about that. That's kind of a cool one.
That one looks good.
Yeah, and then I'd like to let somebody else go first because I don't want to next. Because I don't want to.
Well, I know Ryan's seething on one game that's coming out. What, in the next month or so?
Dragon Ball Z Fighter.
Yeah.
So what are you excited for that, buddy? Because I'm telling you, I don't know anything about it.
Everything. It just looks completely different from like the Xenoverse games and all of the other Dragon Ball Z games that I've played, or one that I have. Like I said, the graphics are going to be phenomenal. I think the characters, they're opening some up to a lot of what's going on in the Super episodes and things like that. So it's just going to be really interesting to play. And I think Dane probably feels the same way. I think him and I have chatted a little bit about it here and there, but well, at least Dragon Ball Super, but and what's going on in that universe. But yeah, it's just going to be phenomenal. So I'm really looking forward to that on the 26th. As a matter of fact, I will say this: I already have it pre-ordered.
Oh, sick!
Yeah, it'll be here on the 26th. That's what Best Buy promised, and it comes with a mini Bop doll of future Trunks. So
Very
totally
cool.
worth the price. So
Does Future Trunks have hair?
yes, future Trunks has hair, purple.
Oh man,
You should
I
know.
only knew Trunks with no hair.
Trunks with no hair.
Baby Trunks.
maybe I'm talking about that. Oh damn it! I don't know.
You're talking about Krillin, maybe?
Nah.
Krillin.
He's talking about
Krillin.
The guy with the
Krillin,
dots. Yeah, he had dots.
Krillin.
All right, my bad.
It's okay. You
To be fair.
guys have had the floor for like 5 or 10 minutes now. I've just been silent. But you brought up Dragon Ball Z, and I'm like, or Super, and I'm like, yeah, I'm all about it. We'll talk about this now.
The
So-
Z Fighter, it's not 2D, it's not 3D, it's like a 2.5D, if you will. It's a fighting game. It looks fantastic. Finisher moves look crazy. Looks
A
like
lot of people
an
are
actual
talking about
show.
it. Yeah,
Oh,
it
it's a
looks
game
really
changer.
good. Yeah.
It almost looks like you're gonna watch an episode of the show while playing, this game, and there's gonna be battles where you can have 3 people, 3 different characters that one can jump in after the other, and if one jumps out, then they'll heal and rest up. So it could be like this long battle. It's not just gonna end quickly when somebody gets KO'd, kind of thing. So
I just, from what the hype that I've read and heard about it looks like it's going to be done very well. So I think hopefully you'll be pleasantly surprised, as I was with Zelda and with Mario this last year. So hopefully it scratches that itch, my man.
One could say the producers are Krillin the game.
I'm not sure how many people actually fight with Krillin in the games, though.
Ow, come on. Just give him some freaking credit. It's like the one guy that me and Donnie remember.
I think he would fight with him if Android 18 did something after you won.
Okay, since we've got the whole team here, I've got to run over 2 more that I'm looking at just quickly. I don't know if you guys have played it, you Switch owners out there. The Project Octopath Traveler, has anybody seen that? It was a demo. It's free to download. It is it's Square Enix, and it's undisclosed launch date, but it's an 8-bit with depth. So imagine like Skyrim, that's now an 8-bit version that you progress the same way, but then it's turn-based fighting. I really enjoyed it. I only played the demo, which gives you about 4 boss battles to fight. But it's really cool, and I really did enjoy it. And the 8-bit stuff fits on the Switch perfectly because it's in high def, but it's still 8-bit. It's hard to imagine. But again, Project Octopath Traveler, try it out, take a look. Square Enix, 2D, 3D, it's really pretty cool. Yoshi's coming out for Switch. I think that's cool. Mario Tennis Aces, dude, Lousman, looking at you. How many hours have we sunk into Mario Tennis?
I mean,
Just saying.
Yeah, I'd say 40 low.
That was good.
Deuces.
That was good.
Oh.
Yeah, that's going to be one of those, probably have to just get it just because I loved Mario Tennis, and I'm sure there'll be a rumble, your controller now, the motion control is like, good God, who cares? But I'm pretty sure that'll be fun. Country, Tropical Freeze. I loved Donkey Kong Country when it came out. I loved it on the Super Nintendo. Thought it was really good. I liked it on the N64 when it came out. So I will probably get that. That's a May 4th launch date. We'll see. But the thing I'm most excited for is, of course, just DLC to Super Mario Odyssey. This came out, 2 weeks ago at this point. But there's a new mini game called Balloon World. It's a free update, which again is awesome. And I love what Nintendo is doing with their DLC. They did it with Zelda, and I just loved it. Dane, Zelda DLC. Come on, man.
It's really good.
Did you get the motorbike yet?
No, I haven't.
Spoiler alert. You get a motorbike.
I saw,
But yeah, you know that. Everybody that plays Zelda knows that and wants it, and it's awesome. But I still can't power up my goddamn my
sword?
master sword. Yeah, I still
Never.
beat the trials. Dude, it's so. I know like 2 different guys that have beat that. There's 46 freaking levels. I can't get past level 8. I don't understand. What
Is
they
there
do.
job video games where they just play 24/7?
They're both in IT, so I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with it. But those are really cool. And again, there's this Mario DLC is going to be very fun, and it comes with new snapshot mode and filters and new outfits and all sorts of stuff. So I really love the Super Mario Odyssey, and how once you get to a certain point, it unlocks a whole lot more to do, which I have not even again dipped my toe into to complete. But I just love the fact that you can go back to a game like Mario and just continue playing. So any Switch owners out there, how to suggest the Mario Odyssey? The DLC is coming in February. So it's going to be really cool. We talked about Anthem, Skull and Bones coming out on PS4 and Xbox One. That is like Assassin's Creed 4 minus the assassin part. So everything that was in there except for those missions, which I am primed for, all about it. I think that's very cool. Supernatural elements like Davy Jones and a Kraken and stuff like that. Awesome. Sounds very cool to me. Definitely pick that up. And then Metroid Prime 4. That's the last one on my list. For the Switch, I loved Metroid. Always loved Metroid. Never could beat one single Metroid game. So I hope this will be the one that I can do. But this looks really cool for Samus's first-person shooter explorations. I'm just very excited for it. So that's it. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Because I've got 2 more stories before this short episode wraps up.
Oh, boy.
Shout out to Red Dead Redemption 2.
Hell yeah.
And Days Gone.
I saw the trailer for that, and I don't know what to think of it, but
open world zombies. You're a bounty hunter, rather. It looks really good.
I feel like we're on the cusp of zombies where they've done about all they can do, but let's.
It's kind of got a World War Z feel to it, where they're kind of fast and like crazy, which isn't like my cup of tea as far as zombies go. But it looks crazy. So
all right,
as long as people are all about the post-apocalyptic world, then zombies will still be a thing.
Yeah.
All right. So before we get on to the last topic, I want to talk to Lausman and Dane, possibly both of you guys. Give us some quick thoughts on this phenomenon called PubG.
Oh, boy.
Player Unknown Battlegrounds. Do I got that right?
Is that what that means?
Yep.
Yes, you do. And
I'm so baffled by this thing.
Still only on PC, right? Demo on Xbox One?
Negative. I believe the full game is out on Xbox One.
Oh, is it?
Yes. I know you can buy it. I know you can actually spend the money on it. So, but yes, no. So, as with any game that goes from a PC startup to console, a couple of hiccups along the way, but the general premise of the game, for anyone who's not familiar with it, is it is the rules of the Hunger Games applied to a shooter like Call of Duty or Battlefield 4,
which I am freaking in on. I love it.
I mean, those are literally the rules. So it's pretty great in a nutshell. The premise of it's wonderful, and the gameplay is never the same. It's one of those games where you can play it for 50, 60, 100 hours, and you never have the same game because things are randomized, items are randomized, gear is randomized, all sorts of things are just whatever you can find, wherever you think you'll find it. And there's vehicles, everyone parachutes in from a C-130, and it's just anarchy from there on out until the map decides to get so small that everyone has to just sort of off each other.
Wow.
So have you played Laos, or have you played Dane?
No.
Okay, you've watched a lot of fight. Have you played it all?
Negative. A lot of my buddies have it already, but I've just watched a lot of footage. Basically, you have to think about the things that you don't think about in other video games. So it even brings, I would almost say, like a inventory-based system from like Skyrim or something like that. Like, so
where you're building stuff as you're grabbing it and running around
and you're swapping things out. So basically everyone starts out in the same plane, and that's the weird part. Everyone in the game is in the same C-130, and then they all go, okay, I'm going to jump now, bye. And everyone gets a parachute, and that's it. So everyone jumps out of the C-130. They free fall down. They steer themselves where they want to go. There's a massive area for them to cover. They start exploring, broken down schools, buildings, whatever, looking for backpacks, looking for guns, ammo. Some ammo won't fit certain guns. Some backpacks won't fit certain weapons, things like that. You run into these issues with inventory before you even start running into people, usually. But beyond that, I mean, it's a fantastic open world shooter that turns into a small world shooter. So it's truly, I mean, it's a good looking game. It's a beautiful looking game. It plays well to a lot of people that I see playing it. So it's highly recommended. There's been some issues. There's been some clones to the game. Yeah, a lot of cheating.
More on the
I mean,
PC side, but
That's what I was
All
going
right.
to ask about.
Yeah, absolutely, which I definitely foresee happening. But just to move things along, Lousman, as the sole Xbox One owner of the group, we will use the funds from the Amazon link that you all can contribute to buy Laus a copy of PubG, so we can actually have some dialogue on this. We'll connect on that later, Lousman. But Mr. Rye Guy, question for you. You have now played two of the best first-person shooters of what I would say our current lifetime experience. We are talking about Battlefront 2, which I'm only literally saying is one of the best, only because I'm a Star Wars fan, and Battlefront 4. Thanks to Mr. Lousman and Dano for their cohesive enthusiasm for this game. Ryan, just as a guy who is coming from an outside perspective as of the recent years, thinking and talking about Battlefield and Battlefront, can you give us your quick takes? And again, I'm trying to wrap this up quickly, guys, as fast as you want to go through it. But what are your thoughts on the two briefly? But mainly, I want to hear what your reflective position is on Battlefield 4, as you're new to that one, newer than last time we talked about Battlefront 2.
Well,
go for it, buddy.
In short, I'm getting better at everything. I really enjoy playing Battlefront 2. To be honest with you, it's really intriguing. I think maybe because it's the Star Wars universe. So I've been playing that a lot more than Battlefield. Obviously, we guys, all of us have played together. Died a lot, got flipped upside down a couple of times, but it's just different. And like I said, I'm getting better. At learning how to play and learning how to shoot. Really, that's the hardest part. But overall, a great experience, Donnie. That's kind of been my take. I just keep playing it. I wouldn't say nightly, but when the kids go to bed, I might sneak an hour or two here or there. So that's kind of a good thing for me. Yeah.
So when we're playing together, because I guess that's the only time we've played Battlefront 4 or Battlefield 4, do you have a preference? Do you like one opposed to the other in terms of the combat style or the intensity of the battles or the weapons or the realisticness? I mean, what do you like?
Yeah.
Really, which one would you go back to if we all were going to sit down and play each time?
That's a good thing. So I first off would say I'm a camper. I like to camp out and try to, get people off guard that are trying to shoot other people. But as far as gameplay goes, they both play very well, but Battlefield seems like there's more of a development. There's more of a path to go certain areas. You could jump into this zone or that zone when you die and so on and so forth. Whereas did I say Battlefront or Battlefield? I meant Battlefield. Battlefront.
That's what you said. Yeah, that's what you said.
Okay. Battlefront 2 seems to be very stagnant
linear
where you go. Yeah, very linear.
Yeah.
There are
go
some levels.
Direction.
There are some levels where you can go here or there when you're online with a bunch of random people, but that's what I would say is the better between the two is that Battlefield has that ability to jump into different zones, see different things, and I wouldn't call them missions per se, but it feels like you're doing something different every time you jump back in. Jump back into a helicopter or whatever. So
and I've spent a lot of time asking Laos this particular question, but Dano, you've played both extensively. I'd say if you got a quick elevator pitch on your take for the two and the differences there, kick it off. We'll go to Laos, and then I'll give my contributions last.
Yeah, but Battlefront 2, like you guys were saying, is very linear. You're kind of stuck in a position until the other team progresses, or vice versa. The games can be either super short or super long, depending on the gameplay and how well people are at the game. So that kind of turns me off a little bit. It can be really hard to unlock heroes, but on the flip side of that, in Battlefield, it's really hard to unlock anything. You have to really play a lot to get the good stuff. And that's kind of the issue with both games. Battlefield, though, obviously it's actual, like, real life as we know it, as far as what war and battle looks like, which is what I like, obviously. But it's fun. You can kind of do whatever you want. You can camp, you can push, you have different things you can play. Obviously, you can do that in Battlefront too, but they're designed by the same people, so they play very similar.
Right.
But Battlefield, the vehicles, the camaraderie, everything, it's what I want to play.
Yep, spot on. Lost man, bring it home, and then I'll drop my tidbits on top, and we'll close this buddy out.
Roger that. Not to try and try and steer clear of like a book report type outlook on the two. I mean, you talk about a game like Battlefront-2 that came out in the year 2017, 2016, 2017.
Yeah, Battlefront 2 came out 2017.
Yeah, November.
Yes, November of 2017. The game, for what it is beautiful. Lovely game, fun to play, fun to watch. It plays like the craziest part of a Star Wars movie that you've seen. And that's the fun part of it. That's exactly the aspect of it. And unfortunately, I think it doesn't go too far deeper than that. The benefits of Battlefield 4, an older game that's been around for a while, maybe a little bit more predictable and yet somehow unpredictable. It's got so much more. I think it's got so much more to it. There are ways that you can approach that.
Yeah, intricacy is what I define it as.
You can approach a Battlefield 4 game any way you want. You can do it in a group. You can do it with, two guys. You can, okay, I should probably work on my phrasing on that one. You can you can play that game how you want to play that game, and I can guarantee you that however you're trying to play it will get messed up. So that's the beauty of it, and they always build in a redundancy that can take you out. So when you think you're, the best and you've got everyone against the ropes, like they build a weakness where you just all of a sudden, you know what, your plan it's not working out anymore, and so you just need to come up with something on your feet. So my favorite would have to be Battlefield 4. Battlefront 2, still a great game, looks beautiful. Yep. Love playing it.
Yep. And so just my little seasoning, my little dust here on the conversation is basically mirroring what everybody said. Battlefront 2, so the Star Wars game. Like Laos or Dane, I think maybe even Ryan said it. I had this conversation, I think, with Dane and Laos independently, and in Battlefront 2 drops you into the lasers over your head, crap is exploding everywhere, people are dying right, left, at all times. You have, as soon as you start in that game, your egg timer starts, and you will die by the end of a minute and a half, whatever. But man, if while you're in that minute of intensity, you do not feel like you're in the middle of the Battle of Hoth, or you're in the middle of that crate battle at the end of Last Jedi, you are there. You are absolutely there. And I love that piece. Now, that comes with its own frustrations, because I think Dane mentioned guys on there buying loot crates or buying the equipment or buying the extra guns. I mean, that sucks. And that really does take you out of it, because you end up just getting frustrated. Now, Battlefield, you have the ability to build your own game, as Laos and Dane both mentioned. You can build the game you want. If you just want to crawl up to the top of a hill and sit there with your sniper rifle and just pick guys off right and left, or you just want to jump into an ATV like me and drive around like a madman, and so you eventually run over somebody, but then you look at the clock and you've been alive for 12 and a half minutes. I mean, that's crazy. That's something you just can't get in Battlefront 2 unless you've paid for it, literally either in 100 hours or in $100. So there's differences there, and it's all about the game you want to play. But I think each game has its place. For the Star Wars fan, it's obviously there. For the hardcore gamer that wants to really hone in some skills and learn some stuff, Battlefield 4 is the game for you. So I think they're both fantastic games. I like them together. I can't tell you that I like one more than the other, because I'm a diehard Star Wars fan, so I love that aspect. I hate the fact that I get sniped every 30 seconds, but I love the fact in Battlefield that as a noob, I can go there and actually survive for 10 minutes, get 3 or 4 kills, and feel good about it. So I think each brings its own to the table, but that's kind of all I have to wrap up both of those games.
It's good. Great job.
So on that note, brings us to the close of this episode. We want to thank you all very much for being here with us on our 59th episode. Next time is number 60. That's a big deal for us, so we want to say thank you. Again, please use the Amazon link below this episode or in the description, and please contribute to the show so we can get Laos that copy of PubG for his Xbox One that he desperately wants. Boys, where can the good people find you, Mr. Laosman?
Please help me get that game.
There's one for the blooper reel.
Yep. Also, I can be found at Mr. Laosman.
On everything, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Ish.
All right.
Just everywhere.
Where do they send donations? Just kidding.
You can actually do that at the PayPal link that we also have listed below or in the description of this episode.
I was going to say the Amazon link as well, but
yeah, both will work. It doesn't cost you anything. Yep. Well, no, don't use that. Just use the Amazon link. Buy whatever you're going to buy. Nope, don't send him any personal checks. Buy what you're gonna buy on Amazon. Use our link, and we get about 4% off each sale. So you're gonna buy $100 game or a $70 game. Guess what? 4% comes back to the show to help fund this kind of stuff, so we can keep this great content coming. We can actually give you guys a decent discussion about PubG because I really want to know. I just don't have an Xbox One. So, Mr. Dane, where can they find you?
Find me at DTMert on Twitter, and you won't find me on PubG, whatever it's called, because it's probably not coming out on PS4 for a while.
But when it does, we're all gonna go in. I'll tell you that.
We're all switching to Xbox One. Yeah.
Oh no!
I just got a PS4.
No.
Trade it in.
All right.
Anarchy.
Anarchy. Well, you can always find me and the rest of the show here at Brewmasters Club on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, anything like that. Please contribute or just on YouTube as well. We started uploading all of our most recent episodes on that. We will continue to do so until we're 100% caught up and into the future. That is, again, at Brewmasters Club on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. You can submit questions or fan topics or simply ask us or contribute some content by using the hashtag Brewmasters Club Cast. We will pick those answers up. Boys, anything else before we close this out?
You can find me somewhere.
Sorry, my bad.
Twitter, Instagram at BrewedBoy813. You can also find me on Battlefront-2 and Battlefield. And there's a little thing over the top of my head. If you kill me, it'll say BrewedBoy813. So there you go.
Awesome.
That's where he's most
again, check us out for the Craft Brews and Geek News. The Facebook group there is a good way to keep up with all things that are going on. Please contribute and just by contribute, I mean engage us in conversation. Talk to us. We want to talk to you. Florida Craft Beer Day is February 15th this year. So please, if nothing else, raise a glass at 7:00. Any social media channel you want. Use the hashtag FLCBD 2018, Florida Craft Beer Day 2018. We will see you guys there. And as we say at the end of every episode, Mr. Dane.
Wowzers.
Perfect.
Oh, boy.
All right, everybody. Have a good night. Thank you, boys.
Cheers.
Good night.
You've been listening to the official podcast of the Brewmasters Club, Craft Brews and Geek News. Grab a beer with the guys and be sure to subscribe to catch additional content. Add this podcast to your favorite RSS feed or iTunes. Chat with the guys on Twitter at Brewmasters Club and Facebook and online at www.brewmasters.club. Cheers!